morning and welcome to the weekend edition of the Gardiner Report. I'm your host, Sarah Devotedly Yours Gardiner, and today's date is Sunday, February 19th, 2012. Beginning this evening with a correction tonight, earlier in the week our report suggested that Jeremy Lin is a member of the Toronto Raptors. Mr. Lin is in fact part of the New York Knicks and was just in town playing a game against the Toronto team. Oh, this just in, a report from the middle finger of my right hand lets us know that a recent study suggests that women care less about professional sports leagues than men. In a related study, researchers found that not only do women have a stronger threshold for pain than men, but that same evolutionary function has allowed for women to be better at pretending to enjoy themselves. The report wasn't specific about the way that this information was distilled, except to say that upon further prodding, the pool of women surveyed said that they were satisfied with the interview and asked that it please stop. Well, a big week for computer giant Apple as its share price broke above $500 for the first time Monday morning. Apple, now surpassing former leader Exxon as the most valuable company in the world, boasts a whopping market capitalization price of $465 billion in comparison to Exxon's mere $400 billion. CEO Tim Cook is thrilled with Apple's success, but notes that the company certainly will have its challenges in 2012, specifically apologizing for labor relationships in Chinese manufacturing plant dubbed the suicide plant, as well as noting a legal dispute with the iPad name. While Exxon CEO Rex Tillerson is not thrilled with Apple jetting ahead in the stock market, he does see the benefit of Apple's global presence needing fossil fuel to ship the intelligent products across the world. An Apple user himself, Tillerson will be among the many users of iProducts who, waking up to civilization collapse propelled by excessive fossil fuel consumption, wondering, is there an app for that? Tension has escalated for Safety Minister Vic Taves as he embarrassingly told CBC reporter Evan Solomon that he didn't understand the nature of the online surveillance bill, C-30, that in fact would give police the right to access privately exchanged information without a warrant. Mr. Taves, clearly not having read the bill, did read many of the thousands of humorous online tweets divulging personal information to the minister under the stream, "Tell Vic everything." Mr. Taves was quoted as having said, "Actually, some of these are very, very funny, very humorous. You know, CBC should consider doing a show on it. It's really great stuff." CBC officials responded to Mr. Taves by saying, it's called the 6 o'clock evening news. Mr. Ford, making an attempt to have Chief General Manager of the TTC, Gary Webster, fired from his position for opposing the Ford brothers' subway plan. Upon election in 2010, Mr. Ford summoned Mr. Webster to his office, where Webster, with 35 years' experience at the Toronto Transit Commission, promised a report to outline this TTC's position on subways versus LRTs. The report was suppressed by Mayor Ford, and Mayor Ford was so displeased he shook his magic 8-ball again, hoping for an outlook that seemed more positive. He then asked TTC Chair and City Councillor Karen Stintz to engineer Webster's dismissal. Ms. Stintz refused to execute Ford's firing, feeling that critical thinking does not warrant dismissal. Ford now wishes to have Ms. Stintz removed from the TTC as well. Doug Ford was quoted earlier this month as saying, "As far as I'm concerned, the TTC needs a complete enema." A special relations officer is now being sent to the Ford brothers, hoping to explain that the LRT trains are not actually filled with gravy, that they serve a practical function, and will not be needing a medical procedure involving anyone's anus. Mayor Ford, accustomed to having his cake and eating it too while watching episodes of The Apprentice, is learning a harsh lesson in reality TV not being quite the same as reality. Well, that completes the weekend edition of the Gardiner Report, streaming to you live from my living room, because it can't possibly be just me and Rex Murphy. Thank you, and good night.